Do you ever think about how you think or why you think the thoughts you think? Do you know that your parents have a lot to do with it? And that this is one of the big reasons that becoming a caregiver to your parent is so difficult. Today we're going to talk about the challenges of becoming a caregiver to your parent, but we're going to focus on the emotional challenges because those can be the most upsetting, the most draining, sometimes even more than the physical challenges. So we all have an internal commentary that runs in the background of everything we do. We're usually not aware of it. It's usually a subconscious thing. Some people call this our inner dialogue, our monkey mind, which kind of makes sense to me because like a monkey jumps from one branch to another, our thoughts often jump from one to another and can feel very overwhelming. And our human brain is wired to do this. Our human brain wants to keep us alive. So it focuses on our physical well-being, but it also focuses on our emotional well-being. And so the monkey mind, or the inner commentary that's running in the back, started as an effort to keep us emotionally safe. So we can kind of buy into the fact that they had a good origin, that the reason for them was good. And often a lot of that inner commentary started as kids. But what happens is we develop this internal dialogue as children, and then it becomes a habit, a way of thinking that we're not even aware of. So that by the time we become adults, it's running quietly in the background, or sometimes more loudly in the background of everything we do. And our brain doesn't easily want to let go of it. And just like as we grow up, we replace early physical protection strategies like drinking only milk for the first year or whatever until your stomach can handle something more. Similarly, we would hope that we would outgrow our emotional survival strategies too. But that doesn't often happen because our brain is so wired to keep us safe, and because our brain is also wired to make as much as possible into a habit. Our brain doesn't want to let go of these deep internal dialogue voices that we've developed as children. So if we aren't aware of that internal dialogue, it'll just keep running. It will be involved in the decisions we make, the actions we take, the emotions we feel. All of those things are tied to this underlying inner commentary that's running behind the scenes. So what often happens is, as children, we overhear our parents saying things, or they say things directly to us. We might hear them talking to somebody else and interpret it in a certain way. We might watch them and interpret their action to mean something. So we're always putting meaning to things, and especially as children, we're such sponges that we absorb everything around us, and our brain is working to provide meaning for it. So then as we become adults, that commentary that's running in the background just feels like who we are. We don't often spend a lot of time trying to figure out where it came from, or if we maybe even still believe what this internal voice is saying to us, it just kind of runs in the background. When we become caregivers to a parent, what often happens is that we are then in closer contact to the origin of many of the voices that encompass our background chatter. And this can bring up a bunch of old emotions, feelings, thoughts that we may have spent some part of our adulthood trying to undo through therapy or through processing of some of our own emotional challenges. When we become a caregiver to a parent, we're now in close proximity again to the origin of our internal chatter. It's kind of like in those movies where an adult goes back to their childhood home, their parents' home for the holidays. And it's almost like as soon as they walk in the door, they revert to that teenager child with the same insecurities, feelings, thoughts that they had way back then. I picture that very similar to when we become a caregiver to our parent. But we can decide that we don't want to live anymore with that chatter that runs in the background that often makes us miserable. And as we become caregivers to a parent, it's actually a really good opportunity to decide that we're going to bring some of that background chatter from our subconscious up to our conscious mind, and we're going to deal with it. Because it allows us to actually be a better caregiver in that moment. And also as we come out the other side of our caregiving journey, it allows us to go on the rest of our lives releasing some of the emotional baggage that we could have potentially been carrying around for our whole life. So the exercise that I'm offering you to do is to just spend a day being aware, listening for your monkey mind, listening to some of the things that background chatter, those voices are saying throughout the day as you interact with different people, even as you're alone. What are some of the thoughts that are coming up, the thoughts and the feelings, and start to just be aware of them. That's the very first step, and it can be really powerful all by itself. But there are other steps involved too that can help in the process of changing our internal dialogue. For now, though, starting with just being aware. See if you can spend a day being aware of what your internal dialogue is saying to you. And I have more videos that talk about the next steps after you're aware, after you've allowed yourself to become aware of your internal monkey mind. What do you do then? If this video was helpful, please like and share, subscribe to my channel, and let anybody you think might find this helpful know about this video. Thank you.